very warm welcome. You're watching News 18 Global. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. The former US President Donald Trump has cemented his front-runner status with his record Iowa win, but his GOP adversary Vivek Ramaswamy has dropped out of this entire campaign. Interestingly, Ramaswamy, a fierce Trump loyalist, has now joined Donald Trump. In fact, the former US President has also hinted at a future role for Vivek Ramaswamy. Their brotherhood, in fact, stole the limelight at the New Hampshire rally, and not just that, Donald Trump also praised the Indian-American entrepreneur for his remarkable journey. So was pulling out of the presidential race Vivek Ramaswamy's trump card? Let's delve deeper. Ramaswamy's move is widely being considered as an indicator of the road ahead. Ramaswamy rose to prominence because of his eloquence, anti-wokeism, anti-climate crisis beliefs, and a Donald Trump can do no wrong stance. He has even called Trump the greatest president of the 21st century. However, Donald Trump has not always reciprocated Ramaswamy's loyalties. Days before the Iowa caucuses, Trump accused Ramaswamy of deceitful campaign tricks and said that he is not Make America Great Again. But the New Hampshire rally arrived as a turning point for both Donald Trump and Ramaswamy. The 38-year-old Republican was greeted with chants of VP, VP, VP after he joined Donald Trump on stage. Does that mean that Donald Trump is willing to consider Ramaswamy as the vice president? Well, let's find out. Trump not only praised Ramaswamy but also indicated that he will be working with Trump for a long time to come. The specifics of Ramaswamy's potential role, whether in Trump's campaign or a prospective administration, still remain uncertain. But Trump's trust in Ramaswamy could mark the beginning of a new political landscape in the United States. The big question remains, if Trump wins the 2024 presidential race, will he have Ramaswamy as vice president? You never know. Trump could jolly well spring a surprise. Both Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley have gone on the offensive against Trump. But Ramaswamy only aligns with Trumpism the most. Remember, Vivek Ramaswamy kept praising Donald Trump even after the former US president lashed out at him days ahead of the Iowa caucus. Will Trump bless the Indian-American millionaire with a second innings soon? We'll find out in the days ahead. But with that, let's also bring you the kind of spectacle that was at the New Hampshire rally when both Trump and Ramaswamy joined the stage together.
We're going to make this happen, and you guys know this well. You know this man. You know why we're here. Patriots across the state. We are in the middle of a war in this country. That's what this is. It's not a war between black and white. It's not between Democrat and Republican, even in a deeper sense. It's between the permanent state and the everyday citizen. Between those of us who love the United States of America and a fringe minority who hates this country and what we stand for. That's what it means. We've been celebrating our diversity and our differences for so long that we forgot all of the ways that we are the same as Americans, bound by that common set of ideals that set this country into motion. We believe those ideals still exist. This man is going to be your next president to revive them.
All right, before we break down for you what Ramaswamy could bring to the table, not just for Donald Trump, but also for American politics, let's also break down for you who is Vivek Ramaswamy. Important to highlight that he was born in Ohio to immigrant parents who hailed from southern India. At the same time, he's also someone who's earned a biology degree at the Harvard from Yale Law School, and he went on to he's also a founder of a biotech company, Roivant Sciences, that he founded in 2014. Now, Forbes, interestingly, estimated Ramaswamy, his net worth at $630 million only till last year. He's also gone ahead to donate to both Democrats and Republican candidates, and that is what makes him stand out. Of course, not just his millionaire status, but also someone who is an immigrant and has in fact been running for presidency, finally hung his boots, but will be supporting Donald Trump. I'll also tell you why he opted out of the race, what made him so unsatisfying for Americans. But before that, let me also play out what Ramaswamy had to say when he was also suspending his plans for the presidential campaign.
But part of respect is that you respect your neighbor enough to tell him what you actually think. God is real. There are two genders. Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity. Reverse racism is racism. An open border is not a border. Parents determine the education of their children. The nuclear family isn't a bad word. It's the greatest form of governance known to mankind. Capitalism is still the best system we have to lift us up from poverty. Not crony capitalism, but the real thing. There are 3 branches of government in the United States, not 4. And the U.S. Constitution is the strongest and greatest guarantor of freedom in human history. That is the truth. We fight for the truth. We stand up for the truth. That is what still gives hope to the free world. And if we can revive that dream over group identity and victimhood and grievance, then nobody in the world, not a nation, not a corporation, not a virus, not China, is going to defeat us. That is what American exceptionalism is all about. And that is what we will revive to save this great country. Thank you for coming out today, guys. God bless you and your families. And may God bless our United States of America. And may we have the right result for our country tonight. I'm asking for your vote in the Iowa caucus. Thank you all.
All right, so let's also tell you now, why did Vivek Ramaswamy finally opt out? It's certainly the final nail to the coffin for him, and his presidential race seemed to be Iowa caucuses. Now, unsatisfying results were delivered for Ramaswamy at the Iowa caucuses, and that's why he dropped out of the 2024 presidential race. He failed to catapult enough traction in the first nomination contest that we all were privy to earlier this week. Ramaswamy remained fierce defender of Donald Trump throughout, even though Trump did not really reciprocate his loyalties till last week. Ramaswamy has said that there is no path for me to be the next president. It seems to be an enlightenment that's dawned upon him, which is why now he's supporting Trump, who seems to be the front runner at the moment. Ramaswamy has also said that we have the country to save, we will do it together. And that is why he has also decided to go ahead with his support to Donald Trump. On that note, let me also play out Donald Trump's reaction that came out soon after he won the Iowa caucuses.
I'm thrilled to be back with the people of the great state of New Hampshire, with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. As you know, last night we had a record-setting evening in Iowa. What a great place that is, too. The largest margin of victory in GOP history. Is that good? Is that good? And the previous record, as you know, was 12 points, so we beat it by more than 30 points, so that was really something. But people behind Nikki Haley are pro-amnesty, they're pro-China, they're pro-open borders. These are the people that are backing her. They're pro-war. We don't want war. We got out of all the wars. We beat the hell out of ISIS. They're pro-Biden, frankly, and if she wins, Biden wins, and if Biden wins, New Hampshire cannot win. You're going to lose, and bad things happen. So he has a big, beautiful, bright future ahead. Vivek Ramaswamy. Come on up, Vivek.
All right, so Donald Trump, of course, now finally endorsing Vivek Ramaswamy. He's really not defined what Ramaswamy's role will be, whether in U.S. administration, if he wins, or for his campaign. We'll know in the days ahead. But let's also tell you what shaped Ramaswamy into one of the presidential candidates. He was also someone who was known for his faith. The faith shaped Ramaswamy's entire campaign narrative. And that was not just to do with religion, but it was also to do with being an American. And he's been somebody who's been anti-abortion, anti-woke, and anti-ESG. Those are, of course, the environmental norms that govern the corporates. He's been completely against it. Ramaswamy's also emphasized on traditional beliefs and values, something that he also attributes to his Indian origin identity. His stance on climate crisis even set Ramaswamy's own candidature apart. Like Donald Trump, he called it a climate hoax. He called it an agenda. He did not believe in climate crisis being a reality. Ramaswamy has also believed that racism has been manufactured in the United States, as you heard him in the speech saying that reverse racism is also racism. He's also gone on to endorse the Great Replacement theory, which, by the way, talks about how all non-whites coming from Arab nations or even the Jews are out there in the United States to replace the American elite. On that note, let me also bring a conversation I had with my guest yesterday. Corinne Clark, who's a Republican strategist, tells you all about what Ramaswamy might be bringing to the table when he is now lending his support to Donald Trump. Let's listen in. Corinne, if you were to sort of assess Ramaswamy's entire campaign so far, he was somebody who was following, or rather trying to follow, Donald Trump's footsteps. While those conservative foreign policy views may have worked for Donald Trump, they seem to have failed miserably for Ramaswamy. What are the kind of attacks that sort of shifted public perception around Vivek Ramaswamy?
No, I don't know that there is a negative perception of Ramaswamy overall. I just think that running with a Trump policy when you are not President Trump and President Trump is in the race is just a failing recipe. He couldn't overcome Trump. Trump was in the race.
You know why I say that? Because Nikki Haley, who has been a former UN ambassador, used those very foreign policy points to sort of bolster him whenever he came up with those views on immigration primarily.
I think that Nikki Haley is a lot of talk. President Trump and Vivek have a lot more in common than Nikki Haley and President Trump. And I think what he did is bring a different voice to the race. And he talked a lot about the same things that President Trump will do when he wins again. And I think that's good to have another voice. But he was never going to win when the real guy was in the race. And I think he has a future in the party if he wants one, but it just wasn't his year.
How do you weigh in on his support now behind Donald Trump? What does it mean for his future within the party, as you just rightly mentioned?
I think it's a great thing to see him get out of the race and endorse President Trump. He's the likely nominee, and especially after that powerhouse victory last night. And I think that he is trying to secure his place in the future of the party by recognizing that he is just not going to win this one. So I think we'll just have to see where he goes, but I think that his potential is great.